A lot of times I'm driving, there's nothing to do, and I shuffle through the radio before I unglue. There's a lot of red on ways, it's traffic, I'm screwed, and I'm wired a bit different than a regular dude. It's not a bad thing, I embrace it, it's true. The radio don't stimulate brain chemistry fluid. The Buddha found nirvana and the Four Noble Truths. Through a meditative process, right action he proved. For me, I require the use of a tool, a detector, pin, pointer, shovel, and beach scoop. I'm meant to work the dirt with my history crew, but everywhere I look, my interest taboo. Most people choose Bieber over Tippecanoe. What does a detectorist listen to when the radio is full of bad music and news? I need an alternative for me to peruse. Beyond Sight and Sound gets fantastic reviews. A metal detecting show where my thought bubble brews. Thank you, Josh Kimmel, for inviting me to a detecting dork out with guests like yours truly.
Are you looking for a high-quality beach and sand scoop? Are you trying to take your hunting to the extreme? How about an American-based company that stands behind their product and everything they sell? Then check out our friends over at XTREME Scoops. John has been making scoops for some time now and makes a quality beach and sand scoop to take your hunting to the next level. XTREME Scoops recently released their new sand shredder that works great in the water and on the beach. And if you're a new Equinox user, you may want to check out his Surfmaster X3 that can trap those small targets you new Equinox users are finding out there. XTREME Scoop's company approach is let's do it right. So do it right, buy it once, and go to the extreme. XTREMEScoops.com. That's XTREME scoops.com.
Hey boys and girls, we are going to talk about S&W shooters and prospectors. What is S&W shooters and prospectors?
We at S&W Shooters and Prospectors help people find treasure.
Did you say treasure?
Yes, treasure. Just listen to this amazing review from our happy customer, Jackie Sparrow.
Chocolate ship-shape and a pleasure to deal with. I was able to buy everything that I needed at prices that were shillings less than others. I found my 9 pieces of 8 in no time. Savvy?
I know you're asking yourself, why should I shop at S&W Shooter and Prospectors?
Chuck Smalley has over 45 years of metal detecting experience. He works with each customer one-on-one to customize their setup to match their skill level.
So if you always dreamt of being a pirate, contact Chuck at S&W Shooters and Prospectors and he'll dig up a great deal for you.
High passion rum not included.
Caution. Please do not operate motor vehicles or power equipment while under the influence of this show. Listening to this show could cause side effects such as bouts of laughter, violent binges of cabin fever, and even dreams of silver and gold. Please be advised. Now that the fine print is out of the way, on with the show. All right, we're back. We're live once again. You are listening to Beyond Sight and Sound, metal detecting and treasure hunting radio for all the really cool digging people out there. And as I look into the chat, apparently Barb's mole blasters only work for moles because the coon came back. I see Scott's in, the Bills are in, Dylan from the Relic Hunter. Check out their Facebook group. Good grief, the chat's already flying. Tam's in, Detecting Addicts, Wyoming Gold. I know I'm missing names, by the way, folks. Either way, welcome aboard to everyone, definitely. So I guess before we get rolling with things, I would like to mention very quickly, for those who don't know, maybe they have them as a friend on Facebook, maybe they don't, but we are extending our condolences to Gail Oistler and her family. Yesterday, her daughter passed, which is always unfortunate. I mean, I'm sure it goes without saying you don't want to see your kids go before you. So we are definitely extending our sympathies and condolences out to her and her family. So, links in the description. First and foremost, our friends over at Shooters and Prospectors. Chuck Smalley, the man with the plan, the multi-line dealer dealing in XP, Nokta Makro, Mine Lab, Detector Pro, Garrett, Dean Ricker Covers, Cedar River Tools, Lesh Diggers, Black 8 Shovels, the NX5, the NX6, many other things, and he is starting to get stocked back up on things like the reboots and all of that. Very cool. Very cool. Rich Crookmeyer in the house. Sea Dog Detecting. Check out their group. And welcome aboard, Rich. Also check out Metal Detecting Central Illinois, the Illinois-Iowa Treasure Hunters, Metal Detecting Unlimited, Metal Detecting Beyond Sight and Sound, Ohio Relic Hunters, Dirt Pirates, our friends at DETECTEES.com, Ken, Mark, Darth, Buddy and the Gang, RingFinders, Extreme Scoops, Ohio Metal Detecting NYC, Crazy Spider Adventures, All Metal Militia, Detect Ed Outdoors, all on YouTube, All Metal Militia, also on Facebook, Metal Detecting NYC on Facebook. Nokta Makro website, Mini Horde commercial, DA boot camps, the electrolysis boot camps. If you are not a member of Detect America, check them out. Monday, 8 p.m. Eastern, as we roll into the summer. I do believe they are currently on their hiatus. You may see a few go lives from them, things like that, and maybe they'll pop on a Thursday, but for the time being, the way it sounds, you're guaranteed to see them on Monday, while Thursday they kick back and recuperate from what is looking like, hopefully, a killer beach season. Hopefully. We've even got a little bit of good news here today. Normally, welcome aboard to Mike and Frank, and normally, we have a very limited window of opportunity here in our area as far as the water hunting goes, because as the weather gets warmer, the algae blooms start to show up, and they're putting neurotoxins into the water, and subsequently there's always signs up, don't enter the water at your own risk, things like that. And this has went on for a number of years. And this year, we finally got word this afternoon that the levels are lower than what they've seen in a long time, as far as the issue with the algae and the neurotoxin and all of that. So it sounds like maybe my glowing mud puddle doesn't glow so much anymore, which is okay. I'm alright with that. But we'll see what happens. I don't know. Hopefully, That brings a number of people out to the beaches, just like Frank's hoping it does in Jersey. We'll see what happens. I would like to see them come out in droves and bring all their nice jewelry and all of that. We'll see what happens. Oh, I see that, Dylan. Hey, chocolate malts are good. Chocolate malts are good. Also, yesterday, I'm not sure, maybe the Pony Express had a broken leg, but a while back, the Detect America did the DETECTEES show with Crazy Spider and Frank Juarez, and I had won a small prize pack off of that show of a Crazy Spider Adventures sticker, which will promptly go onto the... Actually, I've got more than one in that prize pack, so we'll probably put one on the show system and one on the Pelican case. But also, along with that, another adornment for the show system or the Pelican case, I got a super, super cool Shooters and Prospectors sticker. It looks just like the Shooters and Prospectors patch, so that's cool. I'll get that put onto the show system or the Pelican, one or the other. We'll see what happens. Yeah, I like chocolate malts too, as long as they're good ones anyway. Anyway, also in the mail yesterday, we had a very unexpected surprise. A few weeks ago, actually it's probably been longer than that, I received a message from Tom Davis. I'm sure some of you already know him, especially if you're in the Detect America chats on DA Live. And he had some questions on Star Notes, because I do seem to like to post a lot of those up when I do find them. I'm not saying that I'm finding the rare ones. I'm just saying that they're cool when you run across them and everything. So I post them up, and it's gotten to the point anymore where when I do, I usually post up a link explaining Star Notes, because it never fails. Whenever I post one up, I get half a dozen messages from people. What am I missing here? I got dollar bills in my pocket. Or what's so special about the post? What am I supposed to see? And I wind up, I guess, educating a number of people on what Star Notes are, because a lot of people don't realize what they are, I guess. And Tom Davis had some questions about a couple of Star Notes that he had. They were sequentially ordered, and I answered his questions, and he thanked me very much for the information. And then all of a sudden, yesterday in the mail, I've got an envelope from Canada. What? What is this all about? And I open it up, and the photos that he had sent me asking about the information on Star Notes, I had answered his questions and everything, and the photos that he had sent me, imagine my surprise when I opened the envelope, and those Star Notes are in the envelope. Very, very cool. Extremely unexpected. I don't answer everybody's questions because I'm expecting something in return. But that was very cool. Very unexpected surprise. And it's, I get a kick out of seeing stuff like that come through. It's always kind of cool to get a bit of an unexpected surprise in the mailbox from time to time. So, thank you to Tom. All right, so make sure that I've got all of that covered. I do believe I do. Yesterday, Tam wanted to get out and try to take some pictures. So we figured we'd get out. We like to try and get some photos of the baby geese this time of the year. But, baby geese, we were a little late this year. There weren't too many baby geese for her to get a picture of. But we both went out, and she did manage to snag somewhere in the neighborhood of, I want to say 224 photos. Welcome to James. Before the battery on her camera died. That's a lot of pictures. I think there may have even been a video or two as well. But still, that's a lot of pictures. And I'm trying to get a few of them myself. And she keeps mentioning, those geese are getting awful close. I'm backing up. You probably ought to move. I said, well, I can't move real fast. They're just geese. They're not going to do anything. When we happen to get home, and I'm looking through some of the photos that I got, and there's one with a goose that's got its beak open, and you can see the serrations. It looks like teeth. I'm glad her battery had died before the potential gang attack of geese. Because we got to learn some interesting information yesterday about geese and how they eat and different signals they give off before they could potentially attack. And it was just enlightening. Including things that you can do if a goose is going to attack you. I told her I didn't think any of that information would help me, because you have to, I don't have to worry about the don't run away part, because I can't run from anything. But you're supposed to stay slow and methodical, and don't get in a hurry or anything like that. Don't make any sudden movements. And they say that a goose bite or a goose attack won't kill you. But it's not necessarily a goose that I'm worried about. I was asking Tam, I said, well, what's it say if you happen to get gang beat by a flock of geese? Because there's 35, 45 geese out here. I'm dead meat. I can see them calling a squad for this. Can you imagine that call on the scanner? Gentleman attacked by a flock of geese. Call in the medics. We need transport. But it was a very interesting read. Especially when it came to just exactly what the serrations are that look like teeth along the sides of the beak and the tongue, and how they eat. And yeah, Tam says she'd be laughing. And that's why I say it's a good thing the battery in her camera died, because if something had happened, I don't know if we could have got a 911 call out to anyone, because she'd have been laughing too hard at me to call for assistance. Unless, of course, she was calling for herself. I need help. I split my side laughing. because I just watched my husband get beat within an inch of his life by angry geese. Canadian geese, no less. And I don't know. To see that picture, that is one big angry-looking chicken. That's all I've got to say. Either way, it was a nice reprieve. We took a little bit of a break. We got out. We got some photos. I've got more to post. I just haven't edited them because it takes me a while. It's not necessarily my cup of tea. I have, from time to time, I have to walk away from it. And we wanted to make sure and get some grilling done for supper last night and all that. So it was a nice, relaxing evening with some good laughs, reading about the geese. So, good way to unwind, I guess. Either way, the day before that, Monday, we got to try and cook our own goose, so to speak. It was hot. It was definitely hot. And I must admit, I kind of thought that I was half crazy to even attempt. But we were tagged in a post on Facebook. A gentleman local here had lost a very important set of keys. And he lost them on his own property. I mean, I contacted him, I asked him all the questions that we normally do when we're looking for lost items. And he didn't explain what these keys were, just that they were very important. And that he had them clipped to his belt when he was mowing. And normally he takes them off of his belt and throws them in the cup holder of the truck when he mows. And Sunday he had been mowing, and he did not take them off. Well, wouldn't you know it, the first time you don't. And after he was done mowing, his wife asks him, "Where are your keys?" And he looked, and the clip was there, but the keys were not. He was using a grasshopper mower, so he's certain that the keys fell off at some point during the mowing and fell behind him where the grass had already been cut. He knew he didn't strike them with the mower. I asked him, I said, "Well, did you check the mower deck, the pickup truck?" "Yeah, we checked all that. We pretty much disassembled the mower looking for the keys. Can't find them." Okay. Well, we'll see what we can do. Welcome to Crazy Spider. Josh being hunted down. Yep. See, you never know what sort of animals get into the chat. Yep. Goose Gang's beating people. Yep, they're gonna beat me down. See, John, this is why you have to be careful. You never know where you're gonna come into the conversation, and if you're not there at the beginning, you could be lost. Oh, anyway, they say that, yes, we've disassembled the mower practically completely, no keys. They've got to be out here. He says, "I come out and I tried to look for 20 minutes myself, but it got hot." Well, yeah. It's in the mid-80s, probably close to 90. I can understand it got hot. He said, so I had to get back inside. I figured I'd find somebody else that maybe they could do it. They know what they're doing. You know, I need somebody that can find stuff. All right. Well, obviously, if you were mowing it, I'm assuming it's your property. He says, yes, it's my property. I said, okay, how big is the yard? And that's when he tells me the part that I mowed was 3.5 acres. Well, that changes things a little bit. Told him, I said, well, there's a chance that they can be found. I mean, obviously, if they're out here, they can be found. It's just whether or not they can be found, you know, these are important. We want to find them before the grass gets tall enough that they can't be seen, or that you mow again and possibly hit them with the mower. Being as you know, they fell off while you were mowing, they should be laying right on top of the ground. But I got to tell you, 3.5 acres is a large area to cover. So we'll see what we can do. We'll give it our best shot. We're on the way. So, me and Tam load up the detectors. And we're fixing to head out when I get a Facebook message from another gentleman that I know that he wanted to know if I knew what was going on with the keys. I told him to give me a call, and he had very little time to spare, but he wanted to know if we wanted an extra hand. And I told him, I said, absolutely, come on out, you know. They should be laying right on top of the ground, 3.5 acres. Granted, you're not looking for a target the size of a quarter or something. We're looking for something probably more the size of a pop can or an ashtray, but still, 3.5 acres, it's a needle in a haystack. And that's when he tells me, he says, well, you know, he says, there's a campground not far from there that I've got a golf cart at. I said, hey, if you've got the trailer, go get it. Bring it over. You won't even need your detector. Load the kids up. Come out. Drive around the property with the golf cart. They should be right on top of the ground. Easy to spot. We're going to cover ground quicker in a golf cart than I can with a coil. Or walking around looking. You know, me and Tam will be out there. And we'll be doing, you know, covering every angle, whatever that we can. And he calls on his way out to get the golf cart, wanting to know if he should stop by there, see what the conditions are like. I told him, said, just go get the cart. I mean, I'm out here, I've got feet on the ground now, it's fine for golf cart. They know that we've got one coming out, they're all right with it, nobody's going to bug us. So we're out there, and we're looking all over the place. Tam's on the ground there. She's looking. She's walking around with the detector. She's looking around. I'm out there walking around, looking around. Got the Equinox, and then the other gentleman shows up with his 9-year-old. Had the other 2 kids stay at home. Brought the 9-year-old with him, who is interested in metal detecting and had been bothering Dad for a while. Hey, you know, when are we going to go metal detecting again? And they start looking around. An hour and a half, roughly hour and 15 to an hour and 30 minutes in, I tell them, I'm like, look, I'm not saying that the keys aren't here. He swears they're here. But if they're here, they're not in this area. run the golf cart back towards the back of the property, like where Tam was, go along the edge of the path where he had cut. So go up along the edge of the tall grass. One path back, one path up. So your passenger side is on the edge of the tall grass in both directions. It's either back there or they're up here near the road, probably. So he goes to take a pass back towards the back of the property with the golf cart. He's coming back up. He goes to take a pass up by the road one more time. And then we figure, well, we've got an hour and a half in. It's hot. We should probably think about Steve Pacifico in the house. Welcome, buddy. So we're like, well, it's hot. We've got an hour and a half in already. I don't know. And he takes one more pass up by the road. He's coming around to put the golf cart back on the trailer because the golf cart's almost dead, when his 9-year-old jumps off of the golf cart and snatches up the keys. They were right there, up by the road. Like I said earlier, at that point it was like, okay, they're either back on the back along the path or up here by the road. And sure enough, they were up by the road. So he's fixing to put the golf cart up. We find out that the keys have been located. So we had to get some pictures. I handed the 9-year-old $5 and said, hey, tell Dad to, take and get you some ice cream on the way home or something. High five. You did a good job, buddy. You did good. You did real good. So we've got the keys, and we go ahead and we take some photos of them, and then I tell Caden, is the 9-year-old's name. I tell Caden and his father, I said, well, here you go. This is the cell phone number for the guy's wife. You know where they live too. Caden's got the keys. Let him return them to the guy. We're packing up our gear. We're getting out of here. We're going to go sit down in the air conditioning, get something cold to drink. We got some photos. Good teamwork. Because that is what this... yes, there was an item lost. We were searching for a specific item. 3.5 acres is a lot of ground to cover, especially when you're trying to do it in a short time. So we had to get a team of us together to pull this off. So Caden was the hero of the day, finding the keys. But it was good teamwork that brought it all together and thinking outside of the box, so to speak, and having access, knowing somebody that has access to a golf cart doesn't hurt either. But we were able to locate the keys and get them returned to the owner. The owner was very, very pleased. We've got a caller. Go ahead, caller.
That was a heck of a find.
Oh.
Recovery.
Yeah. And you could see from the pictures. This kid was just over the moon with it. He was so proud that he had found these keys. He was happy. He was ecstatic. His dad was ecstatic, because here's his 9-year-old that he's hoping to get into metal detecting, get hooked on the hobby and everything. So he's proud. His kid was the hero of the day. We're all happy because we all came together for a good cause, and we were able to find these keys. So it all worked out good. And then to find out,
you had a relieved owner that had keys for every place around and vehicles and whatever else on there, and these new chipped keys cost a fortune.
Right. I mean, this guy owns a Harley-Davidson shop. He owns a number of other buildings in the community that he rents out to local businesses and things like that. So I can only speculate as to how important these keys were. Some of these keys were very important, though, because he called me the next morning to tell me that a number of these keys, he can't just go up to the hardware and have duplicates made. He has to call and order them from the factory at $100 a pop. And I don't know how many of these keys were that way on this set of keys, because it was keys on 2 key rings that were linked together. The key rings were through one another, but there were easily probably 20 to 40 keys on there. Now, I'm not saying that they were all, special order keys at $100 a pop, but even if there were only 5, that's still $500. That's an important set of keys.
Oh, well, yeah. Yeah. You're getting up into, when you got a big set of them. Oops, excuse me.
Ooh, I hear that.
That's my pager.
Yeah. Hopefully it's nothing serious.
I'm waiting.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, just a message from county. Okay, good enough.
Okay, good.
Don't have to go anywhere.
Good.
So anyway, back to that. When you start adding up and say you got 18 keys that are chipped and that kind of stuff to get into vehicles or buildings, you're getting up into a nice ring value, let alone having to replace those is worse than replacing a ring.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, who do you know that insures a set of keys? I don't even think that that's a possibility to be done. So you're definitely...
If you have a Mercedes, a key fob like that is $500, and you can only get them from Mercedes.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, especially with these newer vehicles and these electronic key fobs, it's just so much headache and problems when those things come up missing that you're beside yourself. It's like losing a expensive ring. It's crazy. But and this kid, I mean, he was happy. We did the right thing. We helped people out. We did a good deed, returning the keys. There was a group of us working together because it was a large area to try to cover. 3.5 acres is massive when you're looking for a set of keys. It's a needle in a haystack.
That's right.
And 10 minutes later, he's done. He's forgot all about it. It's not a big thing to him. It was cool for the 10 minutes or whatever. He was the hero of the day, and those pictures will be put into an electronic album that the parents keep of things that each of the kids do.
Hey.
So he can go back and, hey, I remember that day and things like that. So it was very cool in that aspect as well. And then when the guy called, because the guy calls, well, they drop the keys off at this gentleman's house, and they call his wife, and they tell him, hey, we've got your keys, they're back at your house, this is where we left them, so you know where to find them. And right away, well, what do we owe you? And they told him, said, well, you don't owe us anything. All we did was run around on the golf cart. Josh and Tamara were out there doing the hard work. And the next morning, the guy calls me. He says, hey, you were there when the golf cart was loaded up? I said, well, yeah, why? Is there a problem? It looked to me like the property was fine. We didn't tear anything up, didn't dig any holes, nothing like that. And he says, no. He said, you know the keys were found then? I said, yeah, I know they were found. They were returned to you last night. He says, okay, well, what do I owe you? I owe you something. I said, you know what? I said, how about you just say, hey, thank you. This is on the house. You ain't got to worry about nothing. And that's when he tells me, he says, well, these keys, a number of these keys would have cost me $100 a key to replace. And you're telling me that you're not going to take anything. No, I'm good. Glad to see you got them back. And he says, well, I'll tell you what I'd like to do then. And I'll have to, do you have the other guy's number, that boy's father? I said, I do. And he says, well, never mind. He called my wife's cell phone last night. He says, but what I'd like to do is I would like to get in touch with them. Because the little boy, it sounds like he's interested in, he says, I don't know what you call this stuff, finding, I guess. It sounds like he's real interested in that sort of stuff. I think I'd like to give him $100 towards the cost of a new metal detector for him.
There you go.
I told him, I said, you know what? If you're interested in doing that, you ain't got to worry about trying to give me anything. To see the look on his face when he found those keys last night, and to hear what you would like to do as a token of appreciation for him, you've already said thank you. And now, who knows? With this kid finding these keys, maybe that's what it takes. He's got a bounty hunter detector already, but maybe that's what it takes to just get him absolutely hooked on the hobby.
Yeah.
And now he's in. He's stuck.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic. And let's see. Knowing Pacifico there, it says keyfobs.com has most key fobs there for cheap. So yeah, that's a good hint there.
Yeah.
And he's busting me on the fire trucks. Our newest truck has a fingerprint recognition before it'll start.
See, these things are getting fancier and fancier all the time.
$1 million truck.
Wow. And that probably isn't even new.
No, it's not. It's 5 years old now.
Right. See, pricey. But at least you don't have to.
The south of us. Literally, the guys were going from place to place doing inspections. Went inside, walked out, and the fire truck was gone.
Oh.
Yes. And they ran her into the Mississippi River in Hampton, Illinois. They caught him. He had enough time to swing by his girlfriend's, picked up a 6-pack of beer, and decided to go to the park and ran it in the river. So a lot of us around here have different ways to prevent that now.
Yeah, understandably so. I know there a couple of years ago, there was it wasn't necessarily real local to us, but it wasn't necessarily all that far away either, that there had been a fire department that they got called out on a call, apparently, and this was a smaller scale department, so when they were out on a call, the station was pretty much unattended, and a couple of people went in and just cleaned house, and stole quite a few thousands of dollars worth of gear. And there were people for towns for quite a ways watching for these people, because that just ain't cool.
Nah.
That ain't cool at all.
Keys and key fobs and all this stuff, they're getting smarter and smarter, and the way they're doing stuff with it. But that guy is probably extremely happy to get all that back without having to pay the amount of money it takes to replace that.
Yeah.
Even if they're cheap, you got to get them programmed.
Yeah.
And it's crazy stuff.
I mean, he did have duplicate keys at home, so he did have access to another set of keys, but that still doesn't change the fact that, these were important keys. Chances are good if somebody ran across them, they probably wouldn't have known what they were. But to somebody that could put two and two together, that could make a lot of headache and trouble for this gentleman if they were just left out there and someone stumbled across them. I mean, it's the same thing, with a lot of the law enforcement departments. I know a number of them, the cruisers are pretty much keyed to saying if they're shared cruisers, plus, the police have master keys to the businesses when they're doing door checks and things like that, where how many times have we heard that maybe an officer was on a foot pursuit, and when they went back to their cruiser, they realized that the keys fell off of their belt somewhere along this foot pursuit, and they have to go back now and try to locate their keys that they lost. And there again, that's a lot of headache, because if you can't find them, you're still stuck waiting until someone can bring you.
They have a GPS locator on them.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. And now, in the technological age that we're in, for people that don't know, there are key fobs that you can put on your set of keys that now, if you lose your keys, you can bring that up on a computer, your smartphone, whatever, GPS coordinates, and pretty much go right to them, as long as you can see wherever they are. And that was the other thing that gentleman said when he called me yesterday morning. He said, when I walked into the shop this morning, my mechanic told me about these key fobs, and I've already ordered one of them today. I said, well, there you go. Hopefully you can find them if you lose them again. But hopefully this doesn't happen again, because these were a very important set of keys. Normally, if somebody says that they lost their keys, it's not anything to get all excited about and jump up and down about and run right out to find sometimes. But these were definitely important. So time was kind of a issue. We wanted to locate them as quickly as possible. But like we said, sure, you're looking for a set of keys now. You're not looking for a ring or something, so it's a larger target. You should be able to spot it easily. But when you're on 3.5 acres of land, suddenly now you've got a larger target, but it's in a larger area. So you're still, it's daunting, because you're looking and you're going, where do we even start? So that's why we had to put the team together.
Hello?
Yes. No, I am here.
Oh, it went dead. So, but anyway, Scott's stating now 7 types. Anyone who owns a Ford and loses it has a 1 out of 7 chance of another Ford owner having the same key to start your car.
That's right. He is right. Actually, there for a few years, we had, what was that? I want to say I think it was a 93 F-150 and a 94 or 95 Explorer. And you could use the same key on either of them.
Huh.
Really odd. But yeah, he's right. That is one of the things with Fords. But they're like we said, they're making things fancier and fancier. You've got these keyless entry fobs, you've got these electronic fobs, you've got the chipped keys, the anti-theft devices. It's to the point.
You can have installed on vehicles fingerprint recognition, eye scan.
Right.
So, beam me up, Scotty.
Yeah, exactly. And that's just the way technology moves. I mean, used to be a lot of people in law enforcement were familiar with the Slim Jims or the Jigglers for people, to go and assist if people had locked their keys in a vehicle. And anymore now, with the advancements that have been made, the days of Slim Jims and Jigglers are pretty much in the past. They do not necessarily work. There are still ways to get into the vehicle, and sometimes you have to be a little more creative, but usually anymore it's not because of a Slim Jim or Jiggler. It's because you're either very creative or you happen to know someone in law enforcement or know someone who has access to what they call a wedge. I'm sure you've probably seen the wedges where it kind of, where it spreads that door.
Lock cars.
Yep, it spreads that door just far enough that you can reach down in there and trigger the lock. But
still got a Slim Jim.
Right, but they don't necessarily work so hot on these newer vehicles. You got to work awful hard with
the
Slim Jim.
electronics within the electric lock. If you catch it right, you'll rip wires. So it's basically you don't use it, but we still have up here quite a few older cars coming and going to the drag strip that don't have that.
Where the Slim Jims will work.
That's right.
Very good point.
In fact, it was not last 2 summers ago, we opened up a 64 Chevy.
Oh, wow.
With the keys in it.
Wow.
Carefully, because that car was beautiful.
Right, yeah, that's an investment car. Which, and don't get me wrong, folks, I'm not trying to condone breaking and entering of vehicles or anything like that. They're tools that are made for a specific purpose, and that's what they should be used for. They should not be used for ill intentions. And it, if you can get into the vehicle that way rather than being forced to shatter someone's window, it's a little better outcome.
Yep.
Because that can get pretty pricey too.
And I don't know how many old sets of keys I've got sitting out here I have found detected.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean after the guy told me what he lost, how many keys were on it and everything, it's like, okay, well, I know what range it should ring up in. I've found enough sets of keys over the years, so that shouldn't be an issue. It's just figuring out where on the property to look. Yep.
You had a large area to look, and a needle in a haystack, and the young man come up with it, and that was cool. That was very cool. And it saved a lot of grief for the person that lost them, I'll tell you that.
Oh, yes, because I can only speculate, but I'm sure that was kind of like, handing someone the keys to the city, so to speak, because that set of keys, I'm sure, gave whoever that had them in possession access to a Harley-Davidson motorcycle shop, among other things.
Yeah.
Maybe even
that
access
would not
to a
been
couple
good.
of Harley-Davidsons.
Yeah.
Which I'm sure that...
having those locks.
Right, and I'm sure that they have, security surveillance cameras set up and all of that, to where if somebody had tried something like that, it would have caught up to them eventually.
Richard is confused how we went from teamwork to break-in cars.
We're just that good. We can just transition like that.
Teamwork getting into some of those, I'll tell you.
It is.
And you got, Scott's with the Sheriff's Department as a fleet manager, and then we got Pacifico, former police officer.
Right. Yeah, I'm sure Steve knows all too well the things that we've been discussing tonight. I mean, he's a retired police officer, and Frank's a retired police officer, and it looks like you said Scott's involved with the sheriff's department, but and believe me, I'm not making light of it at all. We definitely respect all of our law enforcement and EMTs and firefighters, and it takes a very special
person. Thank them for the service
person
that they render for us in our communities, and it isn't getting any easier.
No, Steve
said he was good getting into cars.
Well, yeah, good job, Steve. I'll just put it. I'll leave it at that. You know, I'm not going to debate. I'm not going to say anything else on that topic.
Yep.
But
no,
yeah,
I
we
learned a lot of tricks in the firefighting trade, how to get into vehicles, and it continues to. It's an advancing education. As things get different and cars get different,
it is.
Yep. And the wedges will do very well, just slightly open and go down and hit the button. If you can access it, you have to go opposite sides, different things like that. But there are times you have to get in there.
Right.
Dogs, kids, that kind of stuff. The
medical emergency
lockouts are getting fewer and fewer apart because a lot of cars they can unlock their car off their phones.
Yeah, I've seen that too. They can unlock them from their phone, start them up, turn the lights on. I had a friend telling me about a gentleman that he knew that, and I don't even, I couldn't say the make or model of the vehicle or anything like that, but he had the thing paired to his smartphone where he could get out of it and make it park itself. And it's like, okay, this is just getting way too fancy for me. I mean, this is more stuff that it might make it nicer or more convenient or something like that, but that is also more electronic sensors to malfunction, more things to break that are more expensive to repair. And now we're in that day and age where when these sensors go down, your vehicle could be rendered useless until you get those sensors replaced.
That's correct. Now, Steve just found Frank. Frank come back. He was building, he said. Now, why, Steve, there's a story here somewhere. I know there is. Why Frank hides from you. Anyway.
Oh.
Anyway, so has anybody been out finding some good stuff? Have you seen any good posts come up?
I haven't really had the chance to be on Facebook much the last couple of days. I mean, we've been trying to get things ready for the house, and like I said, Monday, as we left the house, I even told Tam, I said I was not planning to go look for a set of keys today. Furthest thing from my mind. But it sounds like they're pretty important. Probably ought to go give it a shot and see what happens. So, and it was a team effort. Tam was out there scrubbing the ground too. It's just, when we try to get a group picture, you don't want me taking the picture. So somebody's got to hold the camera. That's why there's only 3 of us in the photo. Because she does a much better job.
She got a war nickel. Bob Holycross got a V-nickel, and that was about it.
Well, I'll tell you what, that sounds pretty good to me.
Yeah, I got no complaints with that. None.
I'd be happy with that if that was what I found today. I mean, it's not a standing Liberty quarter or anything like that, or an old large cent or something, a real, but still, those are cool finds. I'm tickled pink anytime I find a V-nickel.
I am too. And the war nickel, there you go.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah, they
All right, so
they don't turn up.
dime. No complaints there. That was a couple days ago, he said.
Yeah, that was
9 years, Bob. That's good. I'm glad to see you getting out there. I couldn't get out today. I was running and taking care of business. A lot of people wanting stuff, and it sounds like I'm going to get some 6-inch Mine Lab coils back in stock. And, no Profine 35s, but there's 20s and 15s available, and the Garrett Carrot, and that kind of stuff. So they're keeping up. Shovels are at a premium, but I've been told by my distributor that we should be seeing some of the NX5s and 6s show up shortly.
right.
And my distributor is Ronnie the Ghetto.
Nice.
My buddy Ronnie and the DA clan.
Right. And, they actually, Ronnie got a little bit of advertisement earlier this week, too, because when we took those photos, when we were looking for those keys, I was wearing the Florida Hunt 7 shirt.
There you go.
So
There
Detect
you
America
go.
got some advertisement. The Gold Digger got some advertisement. Hey,
Sure.
I'd have worn
looking forward to Florida Hunt 8. Greg's already working on it.
a
Been working
Shooters
on it.
and Prospectors shirt, but they don't have any of them.
No, but that could be coming, or a hat.
Well, hey, you never know. I tell you what, though.
That logo on the front of it.
I was very impressed when I opened that envelope from Crazy Spider Monday, I think it was, and saw that Shooters and Prospectors sticker. Them things are even sharper than the patches are.
Well, they stand out. I got to get some more because they went rather quick, and it's all Crazy's fault. So he's the one who helped me set that up.
Right. Well, those turned out sharp. I mean, I saw at some point, I think I saw a photo or two posted, and it may have been by Crazy Spider. But that's the first that I've actually seen one of the Shooter and Prospector stickers in person or anything. They are sharp. Very well done.
Yep. I like it. And then the patches have went over big, and I'll be rebooting them. I be changed to a second edition of some kind, so not all are the same.
Oh, there you go. Mix it up. Add some variety.
Yep. So we'll have some fun with that.
Nothing wrong with that.
That way they say, well, I've already got one. No, you ain't got this one. Ha ha.
Right, yeah. No, you've got the previous version. We've revamped. This is a new edition.
There you go. So
yeah. Well, and it sounds.
Maybe I'll have to work with Frank on it. Have a ugly patch, S&W something. Advertise what I'm selling.
There you go.
Frank wants an S&W shirt.
Well, they're pretty hard to find. If you see anybody with an S&W shirt, right? Yeah, I was going to say
S&W coat, but not a shirt.
Right. Yeah, they're very. I mean, there were some out there at one point in time, if I remember correctly, but that's been years ago.
There were some the earlier version of the logo.
Right. Yep. So Frank's out of luck too. He's going to have to stick to candy corn for the time being. And you said you're getting soon 6-inch coils in stock, hopefully 15s as well.
We're getting caught up, and things are going pretty good. But we had a mass meeting on social.
Uh-oh.
Well, I'm gonna have to cut it short. I got a fire, so.
Well, stay safe out there.
Yeah. So I'll let you all go. Be safe out there. We'll talk to you later.
Yep.
And doggone it, says Chief. I got to mute you later. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.
We'll see it. But yeah, Chuck had said earlier that he is getting 6-inch coils back in very soon. For those that are looking for 6-inch coils, you may want to give him a call and see. I'm sure there may be a little bit of a back order list on those. Same with the 15s. Monday, I didn't, but I just about thought about throwing the CTX in the truck with the 17-inch coil just to be able to have the ability of ground coverage, although that really would have tore me up. An hour and a half in that heat, and I was already pretty tore up anyway. 15-inch coil on the Equinox, though, might have been not too bad. Not too bad at all. But definitely we hope Chuck is safe out there and no injuries, anything like that. Everything goes well. Definitely. But he is getting the shop restocked. He's got machines in stock. He's got some diggers in stock so far yet. He's got more diggers on the way. He's got reboots in stock for those of you that use the Ugly Box. I know he's still got plenty of Ugly books if you're still looking for one. And he's attempting to get some of the other items restocked as time and availability allow. Minelab pinpointers, they're tough to get right now. They are. Well, some of them. And if I remember correctly, I want to say that at this point in the game, it's not even an issue of the chips for the pinpointers. Frank says boxes are coming. Nice. So apparently Frank has been able to get his supply issue taken care of, because we know there for a while there was a little bit of a supply issue with the not even necessarily the chips, it was the plastics. And I want to say with Minelab, it's not even an issue of chips at this point. They have chips, it's just the assembly process. Nobody's got, people are running out of, they're running out of people for assembly. I don't know. Doesn't make any sense. Frank says that the parts are starting to flow back in quite nicely. That is good to see. Definitely. Looks like I'm not sure what they're talking about there. But at least it's not the Great Goose gang beating. From what we read last night, it sounds like if you get yourself in a position where a goose is set on attacking you, it is not a very pleasurable experience. I'll put it that way. I mean, to read about it was good enough. And I don't know, I'm sure Tam found some videos somewhere that she was probably just laughing herself to death at, imagining, that would just be too funny if that happened to Josh. But I don't know. We'll see. And Tam had recently won a prize from a recent episode of Detect America that she had received the other day as well. I want to say a 64 Kennedy half. And she had made sure to post that up over in the Detect America group to say thanks. Also, she had won Also, she had one from Metal Detecting Central Illinois as well, and made sure to post that up. There was a little surprise package in there from Mike for me, I guess. Thank you very much. Very cool. Definitely very cool. And Steve had commented when Tam posted that up in Detect America. Thanks for supporting Detect America. Very cool. Always good to see the support, and we also appreciate, likewise, the support that the gang over at DA do for us. Because there is a lot of back and forth reciprocation there. Like I've said before, I try not to it's more constructive for me to put time and effort into supporting, cross-promoting, whatever you want to call it, reciprocating with our fellow shows out there like Detect America, who likewise reciprocate, rather than some others that may not, I guess would be a good way to put that. And it does. It works out well. We see a lot of the same names in the Beyond Sight and Sound chat as we see over in Detect America. We're all very goal-oriented in the aspect of we are truly trying to help the viewers, listeners, members, followers, whatever you want to call them, friends, extended family, anything like that. I mean, it does. It works out well. And hey, you know, they're a great group of folks over there. And I'm sure if I misspoke, which is always possible, like I mentioned at the beginning of the show, I do believe from listening Monday that they are now on their summer hiatus, basically, where they will be live on Mondays and may not be around so much on Thursdays. But Shelley and Dawn are still on Thursdays. And, you know, they can handle Thursday nights. They can get the job done and let the guys kick back and, I don't know, build ugly boxes, eat pizza, do some evening beach hunting. Any of that. You just never know. Just like you just never know what's going to happen here or when it's going to happen. Which, speaking of when it's going to happen, you have got to stay tuned. Because we do have some... Steve Pacifico, you the man, John. No, you the man, buddy. You the man. We do have some announcements coming up in the near future tied to Dig Your Plug that you're probably not going to want to miss. Suffice to say, at some point this year, someone could be very, very pleased. But that's all I'll say about that for the time being. Maybe I've said too much already. I don't know. It's hard to say. I guess we'll just let everybody wonder about it. Either way, we're definitely glad that everybody dropped in. We definitely wish Chuck the best. Hopefully he stays safe out there. Like we've said before, he wears a lot of different hats, and now he's got to go be chief for a little bit. We definitely hope that Steve and Frank and Ronnie have a great season on the beach. Like I said, you can see them Monday. Thursday will be Shelley and Dawn, at least for a while. until they're back off of their hiatus, where we're not strangers to it. This is the time of year that they do that. And once again, like I said, our sympathies and condolences out to Gail and her family. Until the next one, folks, whenever that may be, I think we're going to roll on out of here, but we wish everyone a safe, wonderful, and, well, evening. Get out there and find something if you can. Post up the photos. You know how we love to see them. One of these days, I'll be out there hunting recreationally again. Whenever I'm done locating all of these, or attempting to locate all of these lost items that people can't seem to keep a hold of. Don't get me wrong, though, it's fun. It's always a good story. This one was definitely a good exercise in teamwork, how to think outside of the box and cover a large area. But Caden was definitely the hero of the day. He was the man that day. So good job to Caden. We're going to roll, folks. Have a wonderful evening. We're out of here.